Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, May 13th. What's going on? How are ya? Oh, God, another fucking week. Jesus Christ, how come the weekend? Why are the weekends so short? Anyway. Saw this fucking thing on Instagram because what else would I be doing? Reading. They showed a clip of the old Mike Douglas show, and he already had Liberace out there who was dressed like Liberace, and then he had Little Richard come out who outdressed Liberace. And somebody in the fucking comments section goes, back when you could just be who you were without shoving it down people's faces. Shoving it down people's throats. Like being openly gay in the early 70s was better then than it is now. I mean, what the fuck are you talking? These fucking people, I swear to God. My other favorite one is when they post a joke from like 10 years ago. They go, oh, you couldn't do that anymore. It's like, you just did it. You just did it. You just posted it. Everybody saw it today, and they laughed. Jesus fucking Christ. Make it great again. That's what dumb white people do. It's like, make it great again when a dumb white person was qualified over a smarter black person. The dumbest white guy could get a job over the smartest black person. That's what it was. Oh, we didn't have a problem with that, right? No problems with that. Segregation, no problems. And affirmative action, we're like, what the fuck? Not saying all of us, but I mean, just those kinds of fucking, you know what it is dumb people don't want to compete, because if it's an actual fair competition, that they're not getting a ribbon. All right, there we go. Starting off, coming in, freckled. I don't have to say hot. I'm a ginger, all right? It's redundant. Anyway, oh, God, where do I start? Did you guys have a good Mother's Day? Did you call your mother? Did you send her a card? Oh, gee, Ma, I know I put you through a lot. She has to just sit there gritting her teeth as you're on your fourth marriage. I know I put you through a lot. I know every year and a half to 7 years I'm sleeping on your couch again like I'm still fucking 8 years old, but I just want to let you know. Ma, I know I put you through a lot when I took the car without permission and wrapped it around a pole and you only had minimal coverage. I know a lot of times I feel like a mistake, but I just want to say, here are some flowers. I love you. Anyway. So baseball yesterday, they were all wearing, they had a bunch of pink in there because it was Mom's Day. And I actually find a lot of women don't like pink. People who are like, like dumb hooas. Like, chicks that are hot, but just, they don't want to do anything beyond that. They always seem to like pink. Oh my God, you guys. Hi, Megan. Right? I never saw moms walking around in hot pink. They were moms, right? A lot of earth tones when I was a kid. Got a little crazier in the 80s. Got a little medicated in the 90s, I don't remember moms walking around wearing hot pink. So what was Major League Baseball saying? That all of our mothers are hooas who don't want to work, who are looking for a fat wallet and a big car? Because that's what they were doing when I was a kid. Sorry, my brain's all over the place. I just woke up. All right. Anyway. I hope you guys all had a good Mother's Day. I hope you had time to take your mom out in her hot pink outfit. What are they going to wear for guys? What would they wear for Father's Day? Shit brown? Hey, don't look now, but the Red Sox have the best starting pitching in at least the American League. We're also number one in getting caught stealing, errors and all of that. And our bullpen, hasn't been the greatest either. But you know what? We're up to we're strong third place, I think. Got the Devil Rays. I'm just avoiding talking about the Bruins right now. If I see one more guy that's just out there trying to hurt people and they just go, he plays on the edge. I mean, that's his game, he plays on the edge. Oh, you mean he punches people in the face when they're down on the ice? That guy? He gives blindside fucking checks with the top of his fucking stick where the ref can't see? He plays on the edge. Plays on the edge. So anyway, the only positive I can take away from the Panthers series is I feel like if we really are going to get revenge, it's only fair that we come back from down 3-1 like they did. But I just, this was a hangover year without Bergeron and Krejci, $5 million against the cap. So next year, we'll get another player or whatever. It's just hard to lose to a hockey team from Florida. As much as I respect them, because I kind of love the Panthers. They're determined. They're built for the playoffs. They just don't quit. No matter how many goals they're down, they just keep playing, and next thing you know, they're back into it. If you have players better than theirs, they're going to try to injure them. I mean, that's what the NHL playoffs has been my entire life. So, I can't get mad at that. But what bugs me is that they're from Florida. So I know it doesn't matter if they win or they lose. I've never met a hardcore Florida Panthers fan. I don't think I've ever met the only thing hardcore is sports-wise I've ever met in Miami is the University of Miami. But that's when you're getting into boosters and fucking blue blazers and cash and gold Trans Ams and fucking cocaine and women who dress in pink. Whores, right? That has been my experience. Pink is not a female color. It's the color of the hua. Anyway, kind of way black with a guy was always like you were a bad guy, and a good guy you had the white hat. You know what I mean? And then people were like, well, there's racist connotations to that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, maybe there was, or maybe it's just that some people are still as scared of the dark. I don't like when the lights are out because then my mind starts talking to me. We're down 3-1, and I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to think that first game we beat them 5-1 was because they had such a long fucking layoff and they were all tired or some shit. At least that's what my buddy was telling me. That was his theory. So we will see. We'll see what happens. But I like this group of guys that we have. But there's still we need a presence out there that can answer when people come in and hurt our finesse players, and that has not we haven't had that. That happened to us in 2019. And we got Lucic back, but unfortunately, whatever happened. Definitely missing him right now. Anyway, we will see what happens. This is going to be interesting. If this series goes the way it looks like it's going, Lord, we're going to get bounced out in 5 fucking games. At least we didn't lose to the Maple Leafs, because the Maple Leafs would have talked way more shit. I mean, Florida fans, they don't give a fuck. There's nothing but gorgeous people or people getting surgery to become gorgeous in Miami. Miami people just go, you see that gorgeous woman over there? That's what I want to look like. And they go, all right. And then there they are. Then that gorgeous person doesn't realize that they have a fucking doppelganger walking around jumping on all the dicks that she was supposed to jump on. You got creepy older guys dressed all in white linen. You know, they don't give a... They can get over a game quick. Other than University of Miami. I feel like that's more like... They give a fuck about that. But, like, very quietly, Miami is not relevant at all. Certainly with hockey. Baseball, they bought a couple, though. They did do that. They came right in. They were like, is this how the Yankees and Red Sox are doing it? We got it. So that was cool to see. And the Miami Heat, they had the pile-on team. The Dolphins haven't won in 51 years. However, they have that undefeated season, so they keep getting brought up. It makes them feel current. Yeah, that's the thing about the Dolphins. They don't get as much shit because they're in the same division as the Jets, and the Jets haven't won it since 1969. And Jets have also, like, really sucked, too, for a long time. So I think that takes the heat off the Dolphins, you know, because the Dolphins still, you know, were competitive through the end of Bob Greasy's career. Dan Woodley and Don Strock, whatever their names were, they got to a Super Bowl. Dan Marino got to a Super Bowl and was also a major problem before the Bills came on. And it's just been nothing for like 30 fucking years. And they haven't won shit in 51 years. But every year they get to puff out their chests because now, for some reason, in order to break their record 17-0, the Patriots went 18-0, but lost the last game to the Giants, right? So then it's like, nope, you didn't do it. It's like, I kind of feel like we did. You know? All right, I guess we didn't do it. Now... You 17-0 is now the end of the regular season. So, like, what the fuck are we doing here? And we're going to keep glorifying this team that went undefeated so long ago. They had 2 white running backs and a field goal kicker that went bald like a science teacher. All right. We'll give you that. Anyway, Celtics win game 3. Thank God. Who's at 45 there on is it Darren Mitchell or something like that? I'm so bad with the fucking names. That kid can play. Although I did find it funny in game 2, like that young kid thing where you're down 1-0 in the series and you're hitting 3-pointers in the third quarter and then you're turning around and doing that stare like you're in that movie 300. I feel like you should only be able to stare at a crowd like that, like you're actually, if you just slayed a lion. Not metaphorically, like literally, or did some, you know, special forces military shit. You know, like they threw the grenade into your foxhole, you risked your own life, threw it back, and killed some bad guys. Then you can turn around and look at the camera and go like that. But I feel like when you drain a 3, like everybody on the court has in the first 2 quarters, that to turn around and then do that fucking stare is kind of ridiculous. Maybe that's just me. But what I like about saying old shit like that is people just go, yeah, okay, boomer. I love hearing that because I'm Generation X. And I'm like, oh, good. They blamed it on them. Oh, the whores are wearing pink tonight. They're looking out of sight. They ain't paying for any goddamn drinks. Why did MLB dress their players up like the gold diggers that try to meet them after every game? Hey, MLB, moms don't wear hot pink. Women that fuck your dad and break up mom's marriage, they wear that color. Out there in Jell-O shot colors. Waitress, remember that back? You want to do a Jell-O shot? They'd always have some smoke show coming up to you. Who the fuck wants booze and Jell-O? Nobody did. You wanted what was serving it to you. But you knew she was out of your league. She was wearing hot pink. You didn't have the money. You didn't have the power. You did not have the car. So what's the closest way to get to her? To pay $7 for that Jell-O shot in 1995. That's what you did. That is what you did. Don't lie to me. You know you did it. Maybe if I do a bunch of them, she'll start to like me. Air quote, like me. Lights come on, you're over in the corner. An old hot pink puss walks out and gets into a fucking Monte SS T-tops off. With some roided up guy wearing a half shirt and a mullet. I mean, that was the 80s, buddy. That's what it was. You did a cycle. You didn't do squats. It was all upper body. You got yourself a half shirt, some Larry Bird short shorts. You went to Tanorama and landscape during the day. You were the color of an old belt. And then you had some fucking wraparound glasses like the Macho Man Randy Savage. The fucking mullet. You didn't just have a mullet. You had the blonde highlights in it. Blonde highlights in it. And then any whore out there that liked to fucking wear hot pink that's why you had the T-tops off, so they could leap into your car, onto your dick as you drove down the street. All right? You were dealing weed, and you kept that under the spare tire in the back. That's how you did it, right in the little fucking wheel well. Anyway. That'd be a good movie, right? Set it in the 80s. Where it's just about weed dealers, competing weed dealers, because weed dealers, they fucking didn't like each other, but there was no guns involved. You know? It's just a lot of mean mugging out of IROC Z's and Monte SS's. You know? And then there was I know I've been saying this a lot, but I just want to make sure you guys don't forget. There was a bunch of whoas trying to compete for their attention. And how they got their attention was wearing the color that MLB dressed the sons of respectable women in yesterday. You know, do you think it's time MLB took a pause and decided not to dress the sons of respectable women like Hooters waitresses? On Mother's Day? On Mother's Day, people. I mean, what is going on with this country? I don't know about you guys, but I'm walking away from that. I'm letting my silence and the 17 minutes I discussed this on the podcast speak for itself. Okay? Who was... Anyway... I'm in a goofy mood today. New boot goofing. What was I going to say? Yo, you know what else I watched this weekend? I watched that Wells Fargo Invitational golf thing. This is when you know you're getting old. And I told a buddy of mine the other day, I was like, you know what? One of the things I'm most proud of myself is I am a 55, soon-to-be 56-year-old white guy, and I have yet to buy a set of clubs. I don't own a set of golf clubs. I've never owned. I never, you know. But I got to tell you, the game, you know, as I'm slowing down, you know, as I'm starting to look at things as being way over there when it's just in my bedroom. Can you get that for me, honey? But it's way over there. I turned it on, you know, because the Bruins and the Celtics weren't on at that time. And I was watching, I put it on, and what's his face? Rory McIlroy, right? Is that his name? McElhaney? Oh, no, it's the Always Sunny guy. Hang on a second. I got to open my phone so I can look. Oh, you fucking whore. No. There we go. This. Hey, I remembered my password. But, you know, sometimes you just got to, like, push through the adversity. All right. Yeah, Rory McIlroy. MC capital L-R-O-Y. McIlroy. And then Xander Schauffele. And Xander had him by a shot or two, and every time Rory would tie it up, Xander would go ahead. And then I put it on Sunday, and fucking Rory on the back nine went like Jack Nicklaus at the Masters in 1985 or 86. Kid had like 2 eagles and 3 birdies. The next thing you know, he was up by 7 shots. Schauffele was minus 12 after 4 rounds, and he was 7 shots back. It's just like, what the fuck do I got to do here? McIlroy ended up double bogeying because he went into the water on 18. And so he finished 17 and under. So as he's doing this, they show a graphic saying the last time he won a major was in 2014. It's just like, dude, you know, what the fuck? He's winning a tournament, but it's not a major. I don't understand. Why are majors worth more than these other ones? I've never understood that. I guess it's like their playoffs. There's more pressure or something. It's fucking golf. It's the same goddamn game, you know? It's the same fucking people. Every week, it's the same fucking people you're playing about. This one means more. It's a major. You know what's cool about that Wells Fargo course? They had like 16, 17, and 18 are called the Green Mile because I guess they're really long holes. I think it's 2 par 5s and then a 190-yard par 3 or something. Or maybe there's a long par 4. I don't know what. But all I do know is these guys hit it so fucking hard. Even so far, even on a fucking long par 5, it's like their second shot is like an 8-iron. And then they're on the green, and they're putting for eagle. At least that's what I was watching yesterday. I like that guy. I don't know how you say his name. Sanjay I.M. I don't know how to say his name, but he had a hole that reminded me of me. He went fucking into the bunker. Out of the bunker, he goes over the green into the fucking water or something stupid like that. And then they were saying the golf gods made it up for him because he like holed out when he tried to chip onto the fucking, or he chipped out of the trap or something like that. Billy was watching golf, and I found out that the NASCAR Hall of Fame, just before you think I'm going upper crust on you by starting to watching the golf, I saw the NASCAR Hall of Fame is in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to North Carolina this week. I don't know where I'm at. I think it's Winston-Salem. That's anywhere near Charlotte. The Charlotte, the fucking, what do you call it? The NASCAR Hall of Fame looks great. They have some of the actual cars in there. They got Dale Earnhardt's fucking blue and white Wrangler. They got the King, Richard Petty. They got one of his fucking cars in there. I would go in there just to look at that shit. Back when those things, back when racing was scary. Like you could legit die. As opposed to now. What do they got, like airbags and crumple zones? They don't have airbags, do they? It's kind of funny. They don't have airbags. It'd be too much weight. The horsepower to weight ratio is going to be all thrown off. I feel like NASCAR and wrestling. The same thing happened to both of those things at the same time. Like all their biggest stars left. You know, Dale Earnhardt died. Jeff Gordon eventually retired. And then since then, they just haven't been able to get it going again. And I look at wrestling. Stone Cold, Mankind, The Rock. They haven't been able to get back to that. I know they had John Cena there for a minute. I mean, they had everybody. Y2J, Triple H. That was a hell of a run. It was a hell of a run. And I hated to admit it, but I thought that was even better than what I saw coming up in the 80s. And they had Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Larry Zbyszko, Tony Garea, Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito, the Moondogs, Ivan Putski, Ted DiBiase, the Intercontinental Champion, the $1 Million Man, Mr. Wonderful, Roddy Rowdy Piper. Tito Santana, Jesse the Body Ventura, Ric Flair, the Von Erichs, Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, Andre the Giant. Sorry. That was a lot to go up against. Tony Atlas, Special Delivery Jones, SD Jones. Oh, who are the guys who lost every week? The tag team. Johnny Rods and Jose Estrada. That's fucking unreal. And I'll meet somebody at a party and I can't remember their name 5 seconds later. Maybe they had some tights on and pretended to fight every week. Maybe that it could. Maybe then I could remember their fucking name. All right. All righty then. This has been a weird podcast. I've been enjoying it though. All right. Let's go. Let's go to the advertising. Did I put anything on here? All right. Oh, look who it is, everybody. It's Simply Safe. You know, when you travel, do concerns back home nag you? Did you lock up, leave a window open? That's why I recommend investing in a Simply Safe home security today. For award-winning security and peace of mind wherever your summer plans take you. I always wish I had like a fucking alligator that knew how to sneak up on people in my house, you know, so when I went away, because I just feel like breaking into somebody's house. That's go rob a bank. Fucking earn it, you cunt. Breaking into somebody's house. You should be eaten alive by an alligator. Oh, man, this thing doesn't even hiss. They trained it not to hiss. They worked around his reptilian brain. Trusted by experts, Simply Safe was named Best Home Security System in 2024. Already? By U.S. News and World Report, and Newsweek awarded it Best Customer Service in Home Security. The system blankets your whole home in protection. It has sensors to detect break-ins, fires, floods, and more, plus a variety of indoor and outdoor cameras to keep watch over your property day and night. It's backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, so you can get fast emergency response and dispatch when you need it. Simply Safe is professional monitoring. Oh, Simply Safe safes, it should have said. Professional monitoring agents can even help stop crime in real time by speaking to intruders through the wireless indoor camera. Come on, buddy, you don't want to do that. Do you really want to throw your life away for that vase? Warning them that they're being watched and the police are on their way. With no contract and a 60-day money-back guarantee, you can try Simply Safe risk-free. Don't absolutely love it? Send the system back for a full refund. Simply Safe has given me and many of my listeners real peace of mind. I want you to have it too. Get 20% off any new Simply Safe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/Burr. That's simplysafe.com/Burr. SIMPLISAFE.com/Burr. There's no safe like Simply Safe. All right, where am I going here? The song is over. It's all behind me. Oh, I got to take a break before I get into this first one. This first guy's going to take me to task on my whole, I don't buy this whole thing that you stole home court advantage. When they say that dumb shit like best of 7 series, there's 4 games in my court, 3 games in your court. You split the first 2 in my building, and then somehow you just stole home court advantage. There's no longer 4 games in my building and 3 games in your building. You somehow stole that mathematically by winning one of the first 2 games. I got to listen to this fucking guy. All right, stealing home court. What is going on? Hang on. Let me clear my throat. Speaking of let me clear my throat. Shout out to NBA DJs fucking playing loud shit music over what we paid to watch. All right, here we go. This guy's going to set me straight. Stealing home court / field advantage. Billy Baldfuck, longtime listener, first time writing in. I notice you often say, most recently on your last Thursday podcast, that when sports commentators say a team stole home court field advantage in a series, that they're wrong and that they don't make sense. Yeah, they don't. They're just adding drama. You're completely wrong. Oh, am I? In a best of 7, here they go. Now they're going to do the math. In a best of 7 series, if the away team splits the first 2 on the road, they now have home court / field advantage. The series is now tied 1-1, in case you missed it, and is in essence a best of 5 series now. Oh, is it? Is that what just happened? We're not playing 7 games total? We've decided to not count the first 2 games, and now we're going to act like it's a 5-game series? You can do that through the whole series. That's just this stupid way of them trying to make something that is like not as dramatic, more dramatic. Like now they have home court advantage. First of all, you're making the assumption that with home court, you automatically win the game, which you don't. You just split. You went 50-50. That's what usually happens in most playoff series. And then what? I go to your building and then suddenly your home court is stronger than my home court, that I'm not going to go in there and I'm not going to take one. And then what happened then? Then did I steal home court back? Did I steal it back because it belonged to me? It isn't. It isn't. This is just, it's complete horseshit. It's a 7-game series. It's never a 5-game series. It's always a 7-game series. It's always best 4 out of 7, and there's always going to be 4 in my building and 3 in your building, so you can't do it. However, if you choose to ignore the first 2 games that already happened, and it's a 5-game series, like these fucking idiots on ESPN do, then yes, then that would be. But then you didn't steal anything. You just decided to ignore the first 2 games, even though they count, and now go. So now it's like a 5-game series. Is this 7-game series like a 5-game series? This is no different than people that say that bad things happen in 3s. Rather than, no, you stop counting at 3, and then when the 4th bad thing happens, you call it number 1. That's all you're doing. You're just moving numbers around. It's a best of 7-game series. I have home court advantage, or you do, because 4 are in your building and 3 are in mine. Unless you decide to start counting after the first 2 games. Let me tell you, if I win the first 2 fucking games, if you're going to ignore those, it's still like a 5-game series. None of what you're saying makes any sense. It's stupid. And just because you're at home doesn't mean you're going to win the fucking game. I don't think there really is any like home court advantage. The game is just in your building. And if you're a team that's built for the playoffs, it doesn't matter where you're playing. What actually matters is not in the fucking stands, as much as fans can't believe that they're not a bigger part of the game. You're watching an event and you're reacting to it. But those people on the court, on the ice, on the field, on the tundra, they're playing it. And there's all kinds of storylines in there that you can't even see with your fucking Joe six-pack eyes that they're dealing with. So you guys can sit here and play fucking, Hollywood math with the 7-game series and not count the first. Now it's a 5-game. Well, after game 3, then what is it like? Is it like a 3-game series? And at that point, does nobody have home court advantage? Well, no, the team that's up 2-1, they're the one that would have. Well, I thought you stopped counting the first 2 games. Now we're counting those again, so your math works? You're completely wrong. No, what you are, sir, is you're one of those people that you hear something on a sports program and then you repeat it. I remember when the Red Sox, those goddamn Boston Red Sox, who they had dressed like absolute whores, was on Mother's Day. I remember after they beat the Yankees in 2004 and they were up 3-0 against the St. Louis Cardinals. All right? They started saying if the Red Sox win the World Series, these Red Sox fans, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know what to do if the Red Sox win a World Series. They kept saying that, and sure enough, when the Red Sox won it, they started filming Red Sox fans, and what did they say? They started going like, I don't even know what to do. Like that was his idea. It was put in his head, and then he act accordingly. I'll tell you another lazy one. Before, and out of respect for this guy, I'm going to keep fucking reading his stupid fucking math. All right? Anyways, it's like you have $7. Yeah, but if you ignore the first two, it's like you only have $5. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You have $5 advantage. Another one. I was watching this 30 for 30 on Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and a lot of people forgot, including myself, that Ken Griffey Jr. was in that home run race to beat Roger Maris in 1998. And, one of the biggest travesties in all of baseball, in that everybody fucking enjoyed it, everybody had a good time. And everybody in baseball, including the owners, knew what was happening. And then a couple years later, when the shit hit the fan, all the owners walked away from those players like they didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like they didn't deliberately look the other way because in 1994 they canceled the World Series. Attendance was brutally down, and Cal Ripken Jr. breaking Lou Gehrig's record was the only good thing that happened in almost 5 years. It was like they basically said at the beginning of that year that Mark McGwire or somebody was going to break it, and then it happened. There was a lot going on there. There was a lot of marketing going on there. But those guys went out there and they fucking did it. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. And then the president's calling Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds is sitting there going like, wait a minute, I thought I was the best guy. All right, here's me on steroids. And then everybody's like, oh, no, fuck this guy. Barry Bonds was a victim of the steroid era. Anyway, plowing ahead, what they said in that is they were talking about the St. Louis Cardinals and Chicago Cubs rivalry. And they used that thing that they always say about Boston and Philadelphia. They said St. Louis had an inferiority complex with Chicago. Like people in St. Louis were going like, I really love St. Louis, but it doesn't have as many buildings as Chicago. How they keep fucking doing that. When they would do it about New York, I understood it because so much of news media is driven and is based in New York. That's why if you do something in New York, they won't shut the fuck up about it. But if you do something in San Antonio, nobody pays attention to it. Like if the Spurs were the Knicks, you would never. I see more shit about the stupid fucking Pat Riley New York Knicks and Spike Lee and, oh man, the Garden was going crazy and you didn't win anything. And those fucking Reggie Miller games, it's just like, it's that New York media thing. It's like, hey, let's all sit around and romanticize not winning a championship. But we almost did. We almost did, but it happened in New York. So they do that thing where they would always say, with Boston, there's always been an inferiority complex. And I got to be honest with you guys. How far away? New York might have been, has been in fucking Europe. Like, when we were growing up, they said it when we were growing up. And it was like, there was no internet. The only thing I knew about New York, I knew their sports teams, the Statue of Liberty, and the Empire State Building. That was it. That's all it was. I didn't know anything about anything else. So Anyway, like that thing, I feel like that is people that left their towns and moved to bigger cities, and they always then have to talk down like where they came from. It's kind of like how everybody in Hollywood calls, like, basically 48 of the 50 states. Well, it's really the lower 48. So I'd say 46 of the 48 states flyover states. Like they view them as a cut below, and then they're the ones who write these documentaries and make these outrageous claims that, like, why would St. Louis have an inferiority complex to Chicago? Chicago was called Second City. All right? St. Louis was the one winning all the titles. The Cubs were in the middle of like a fucking 100-year drought. It didn't even make sense. They just said, okay, when we did Red Sox Yankees doc, inferiority complex, plug this in. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody in New York gives a fuck about Boston. Nobody in Boston gives a fuck about New York. Nobody's thinking about Philly. Nobody is. But these sports writers, they go from each town and they see them, and then they start, coming up with some metaphors and a fucking storyline, and then they start putting words into our mouths. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. We like our pizza. You like your pizza. You're into your tacos. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody is literally walking around going, I love this city, but I feel so inferior when I look at San Francisco. Nobody does. Everybody loves where they're from, essentially, right? I mean, look at the Diaz brothers, the way they fucking talk about Stockton, California. All right, now if one of these ESPN documentary people, they have inferiority complex to Sacramento. Anyway, I got to read the rest of this. If the away team splits the first two on the road, they now have home court advantage. The series is tied 1-1 and is, in essence, a best-of-5 series now. Oh, is it? With 3 games at home and 2 away. As a result, they have stolen home court field advantage. I know you're not the brightest ginger in the box, so I hope this concept is something you can wrap your bald head around. You're like, this guy feels smart because what they spoon-fed him on ESPN. That makes sense to me. You just wanted to be that guy at work going, they stole home court advantage. I'm talking the lingo. You didn't. You didn't, okay? It's not what's going on here, okay? Game 1 and Game 2 still happened, and all the bumps and bruises and all this shit still fucking happened. It's not, you don't just get to act like they're not there, hit the refresh button, and act like they didn't fucking happen, and now we're going out there. So whoever got hurt in the first 2 games isn't hurt anymore? That's not going to play a factor. It's all about some fat fuck with 2 fucking styrofoam tubes slamming them together behind the fucking backboard. That's what it's about. You're probably one of the guys that stands up and dances and tries to get on the fucking Jumbotron. All right, P.S. I love Unfrosted and seeing you play JFK. Thanks for all the laughs you've provided over the years. Best to you and your family, and go fuck yourself. All right, you won me back because you fucking fed my ego. They've stolen home court advantage. Oh, is that what they did? Game 7. Well, now, actually, in essence, it's a 1-game series. Oh, thank you. But just for the record, whoever wins tonight will have won 4 games and needed to win 4 because it was I remember a few games ago, this was best 4 out of 7, right? I think so. Till you get out your eraser. And yeah, not to mention, like, the team winning at home is not a foregone conclusion. You just saw that because they just split. So what the fuck are we doing here? Your favorite strip club in L.A. Jumbo's Clown Room. I fucking hate that place. I hate that place because the amount of people that want to, dude, we ended up at Jumbo's Clown Room. It was a crazy night. Fucking up top. Dear Hollywood Bowl Bill, on your podcast a year ago or so, you mentioned Jumbo's Clown Room, a somewhat infamous strip club in L.A. Yeah, it's not a good place. You mentioned how you went there and saw a stripper quit in the middle of the job. Yes, and by the way, it was not my idea. My wife goes, let's go there. I want to go there, see what's up. And it was fucking sad. It was sad. It was the same sadness. I hadn't been in there since the 90s. It was sad then. I went there. What the fuck was it? I remember I had an acting gig. And the whole cast, we went there. And I remember we ended up leaving. And one of the actresses was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Those are my two experiences there. I'm in my 20s and grew up in Hollywood, and although I've been to a couple of strip clubs, I've never been to Jumbo's, so my first impression was always your description, which was something along the lines of a place that looks like every serial killer has hung out there. Yes. Well, I thought you would appreciate that completely out of the blue. Two separate friend groups of mine started going to Jumbo's Clown Room frequently. The two friend groups never met, but they both started to frequent the place. What I think is funny, besides the whole thing being bizarre, is that they go there for different reasons. One of the friend groups is typical LA artsy crowd that thinks the place is cool artsy hangout. I shit you not. Yep. Yeah, I can see that. The other group is a bunch of frat guys from BU who go there to get drunk because they think it's funny. Yep. That's it. Every time Jumbo's gets brought up often, all I can think of is your podcast. By the way, the BU guys love your description of the place after I mention it. I'll probably be dragged there in the near future, and I'll let you know how it goes. Just thought you would like to know that your legacy as a spokesman for Jumbo's Clown Room is alive and well. Also, my dad and I loved you at the Hollywood Bowl, wishing you and your family the best, and go fuck yourself. And for you to go fuck yourself. Yeah. I feel like strip clubs, if you go to them in your 20s, you know, it becomes a different thing in your 30s. You're just a creep. It's not funny anymore. I guess it never should be. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? But that one just in particular. I've been to that one, and then there was one. This place called Cloud 9. Which was essentially somebody's house. I remember that one. I went to that one. I'm not going to name the comedians I went there with. That was another level. Past Jumbo's Clown Room. All right, the other side of bail reform. Hey there, Billy, both sides. I just heard your read from last Monday regarding the elimination of cash bail. There's the other side of the coin to consider from an attorney that has worked in the criminal justice system for the last 17 years. No, you should be taking the word of a comedian who never went to fucking law school. First, the elimination of cash bail does not mean that everyone charged with the crime gets set free after their arrest. All right, that's what I thought it meant. If they are not released within a few hours for a minor offense, something that was common even when we had a money bail system. Okay, let me read that better. If they are not released within a few hours for a minor offense, parentheses, something that was common even when we had a money bail system. They are typically held in jail for several days while they await a detention hearing. A detention hearing, a judge decides whether they should be released, and if so, under what conditions, i.e. weekly reporting to court staff, maintaining employment, no contact with the alleged victim, etc. Or if they are considered too dangerous for any conditions to keep the public safe, they are held in jail without bail until trial. A dispositive motion, or their case is resolved with the plea agreement. Please consider that much of the rhetoric against bail reform as fueled by the billion-dollar prison industry, whose pocket gets lighter when less people are held in jail. Yeah, because that's what I was wondering about, going like, yeah, why aren't they saying anything? Because I remember there was a guy, they did this really creepy thing where he built a jail and he was like pissed because he didn't have enough prisoners. He goes, I was promised prisoners. It's like, all right, buddy, what are we doing here? And that was basically how he made money. Anyway, There are two major improvements to the elimination of cash bail that are beyond dispute. One is that poor petty offenders are no longer held in jail at taxpayers' expenses because they can't post $500 bail for things like simple drug possession or disorderly drunken conduct. Well, I thought they were letting people out that did shit way more violent than that. Am I nuts? Related to this point is the backwards dynamic involving bail bondsmen. A bail bondsman makes money by charging an inmate 10% of the total bail figure to secure their release. It is then the bondsman's job to track down an inmate and bring them back to jail if they flee before their case resolves. Bondsmen were always motivated to do business with inmates with the highest bail figures, i.e., inmates facing the most serious charges. With a $500 bail, for example, the bondsman, $500,000 bail, for example, the bondsman can make $50,000, which justifies the risk and trouble of having to track down serious violent offenders who flee. At the same time, no bondsman would do business with someone who had a $500 bail on a petty offense because $50 is not worth the trouble if they have to chase after them. Thus, under a cash bail system, our jails were often filled with the pettiest offenders, while the most violent offenders who could find a way to come up with the bail money would be released pre-trial. Look at this, the other side of the argument. The second related upside to the elimination of cash bail is that wealthiest criminals charged with the most serious offenses like murder and rape can now be held without bail, i.e., even if they have $1 billion in cash to post, they are still held in jail until their case is resolved as opposed to being released. Before the elimination of money bail, holding people with the inability to post bail was considered unconstitutional due to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. New Jersey amended its state constitution as part of the give and take involved with the elimination of the money bail system. All right, well, there you go, people. There's some information for you. And as always, I probably had 180 degrees wrong. I'm trying to copy this so I can send this to a buddy of mine who's going like, these fucking liberals are fucking liberaler, and with their liberalism, we're doing that again this election. We're still blaming ties. All right. Let's keep it going. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, just keep watching that shit. That's where the truth is. Oh, Jesus. All right. Corporate jargon, corporate charity. Hey, Billy, coffee snob Burr. I am. How the hell are you? All of this corporate word talk over the past few weeks got me thinking about something so many companies seem to do these days. Take a department of 8 people, fire 4 of them, and make those 4 people do 8 people's jobs. And then the person that fired them takes the 4 fired people's yearly salaries as a bonus during Christmas. And now we got a bunch of people living under bridges, that type of shit. Nah, it's the liberal, conservative, right-wing libtards that are doing it. No, it isn't. It's just corporate greed that is not monitored by any sort of governmental agency anymore. There's no rules. Like, the Department of Justice is going after Live Nation. I work for them. This is the 3rd time they've gone after them to try to break up what is clearly a fucking monopoly. Nothing's going to happen to them. You watch. No, it's totally fine that the person that books the show also owns the ticketing agency and also owns the venue and also gets money off of the fucking advertising, and they fucking quadruple dip every gig. It's totally fine. And whatever deal that they want to give you, that's the deal you have to fucking take because they own all the fucking venues, and where else you going to go? No, there's nothing to see there. And then, a couple of years they report a loss and don't even pay taxes. I mean, nothing to see there. All right. How the hell are you? All of this corporate work talk, blah, 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 blah. The past few got me thinking about something. So many companies seem to do these days, which is posting on LinkedIn social media, every time they do something charity related. Yeah, that's to appease their guilt. What this looks like is this. 3 simple steps. 1, schedule a day for people at your company to wear the same shirts. This is essential. And do something charity related. Parentheses, food drive, toy drive, fundraising event, etc. 2, go to said food drive / toy drive / event and take 1,000,000 pictures. Bonus if kids are in the pictures. 3, shamelessly post about it on the company's LinkedIn page, followed by every employee posting the picture and how they spent a day doing something for charity. Without fail, the posts have a sense of, or just outright say, oh, look at how much we care about other people. Pretty damn funny. Take care and appreciate all that you do. Yeah, well, there you go. 100%. Yeah, it's all fucking politics. I mean, look at me. Look at me. I try to act like I'm down to earth, right? I try to act like I'm a man of the people. You guys have no idea what I'm doing. Do you guys realize right now that I have on gold-toed slippers? Did you even know that they even made those? Now, the gold-toed sock, I don't want to get into that. I've made fun of the gold-toed sock before. All right. I'm going to wrap this up here a few minutes early because I'm meeting a buddy of mine to go play a par 3 golf course. This is my deal. As long as I don't buy clubs, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem, guys. I can quit it whenever I want, just like cigars. I did quit the booze. And I've been going easy on the cigars this year, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? Anyway, drum shit real quick. See Primus and Pussifer and Tool play one song and all that. I revisited this. I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl a few weeks ago, man, for Maynard's 60th. It's fucking amazing. So I got back into, a couple of Primus songs that I never quite figured out. And one of them was that song, My Friend Fats. My friend Fats is a hell of a guy. Let me tell you why. And it's just, the riff is just da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun. Right? I can't even do it on time. And the way Tim plays it on drums is he gives it like a triplet feel. It almost feels like it's in 6. The accents, because the accents on the 1, on the end of 2, and I think on 4. And so then you think it's like in this odd time, because after that, it goes da-da-da-dun. And you're like, what the fuck was that? This is like in 5. Is this in 7? Is it in 9? And it's actually in 4. He's just playing like a 3 against 4. But rather than playing every third, accenting every third, he's accenting every 6th. So now it feels like it's in 6. So you're playing 16ths on the hi-hat. This is what I think is happening. He accents on the 1, the and of 2, 4, and then he plays E and a 1 with his bass drum. And that's how I wrote it out. And I'm going to go fuck with that in my my little drum room there, where I go and I try to act like I'm special. And I'm throwing that out there because I know I probably got it wrong. And that'll make one of you guys go tell me how to actually fucking play it. But that's what I'm up to. All right, that is the deal. I'm going to Columbus, Nashville, and I believe Winston-Salem, North Carolina this weekend. My act is in top form. I am ready to shoot a special. I'm shooting the special in Seattle the end of June at the Moore Theater. I cannot fucking wait. I love that place. I love that city. I think it's going to be the perfect combination of Larry liberals and some conservatives driving in from outside of the city. So it'll be the perfect crowd. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. What do you say there, Red? All right, that's it. Go Bruins. All right? I mean, when you think about it, I know we've played 4 games, but, in essence, now it's a 3-game series. So you know, and you got to win best 3 out of 3. Oh, wait, who has home ice now? I can't even do the math. If we win the next one, then do we have to, is home ice tied? All right, that's it. I'll talk to you later.